some of you are in different places and moving along, so it's kind of you're on your own tasks or locations at this moment. Some people are going back and redoing. What questions can I answer for you?
I have just a quick thing, and I didn't notice until now.
Yep.
On each of the sections of the modules under core beliefs,
Yep.
on the individual 3 or 4 pages, I'll say on the second and third questions where it says, how do you close your eyes? How do you think? And I'll
Yep.
say core beliefs. But then when you go to the next section, like for this module, you go to the next section where it says emotional harmony, and you go to those pages, and it also says core belief, but it should be not core belief in those sections. It should be whatever section it is, right? I'm not sure if I'm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was crossing out core belief and writing down what it should be for that section.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I did, but I thought, well, maybe I'm not doing it right.
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. So what section what section were you on, and what was your aha?
I'll go. I was
Okay.
on the emotional harmony module 3 under the ideal outcomes.
Yeah.
I was struggling until you opened my eyes a few weeks ago about this emotional harmony, why it was even important. But it would make my life a lot easier if I just go with the flow and not let that stuff bother me. So, and it just keeps coming back to me.
So here's the thing. You were going with the flow. But think about it. But your flow was, this is a bother. That was the flow you would step into. So it's not that you're unaware of what flow means. His name is almost impossible to say, let alone spell. Mikhail Semyansky, the guy who actually created the name for flow, came up with the terminology for flow. It's when we are in a way that our default mode network takes over. We associate flow with positive and in the move and getting ready to go and doing all of those things. The reality is that flow is always there. It's us assigning the positive, getting things done, moving forward. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm in flow. Oh my God, I got so much done. Well, aren't you in flow if you don't get a whole lot done? It's just you're in the flow and not getting stuff done. I mean, if you can't, there's no way you're ever out of flow.
Got it.
It's called life. It's called fluid. The blood is flowing in your veins. The air is flowing in and out. You're always, and if he was sitting next to me, he'd probably thump me on the head or something. But my belief is that we're always in flow. It's the direction with which we control it. And when it takes over, it pulls us like a stream that somebody opened the floodgate behind us, and it just moves us rapidly forward. But there's flow that's called resistance, right? How many people do we know that their personality, we call it a mood. Oh, they're in their mood, right? Or they're just always grumpy. That's their flow. So now when you step out of that flow and into your new river, there's a tendency, there's a willingness, there's a wanting to stay in that resistance. Oh, wow, this is just flowing into my brain right now. Oh my gosh, it's so much easier to be resistant over here because I don't have to think of all of those other things. I'm just resistant about one thing. So Michelle and I just did a podcast that'll be coming out. It's called Put Some Ranch on It, as the name of our podcast. So this second one was on self-care and discussing what the challenges are with self-care and how to understand and absolutely let yourself get into self-care. And Michelle is, shall we say, she's the poster child for lack of self-care. Was. So, yeah, kind of cool.
When is that coming out?
We're going to probably do one more. So we've got 3 in the can. They're going to come out weekly. And so probably by this weekend, it'll be launched.
And you'll let us know.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep. And the reason that just an aside, the reason that you want to, when you launch it, you want to put a few up first so that people can go look at it. So if you want to get new and notable on iTunes, you need to have downloads. And if you only have one there, you can only download it once. But if you've got 3, 4, or 5, you can download and get 5 downloads from one person versus needing 5 people to download the one. Just a little
Good to
podcast.
know.
Yeah. Who else? Where are you at? What's your aha in doing your weekly Life Navigator program? You may see probably here, I don't know, it probably won't be next week because of the holiday, but the week after there may be a few new superstars joining us, possibly. Met with them this weekend. Pretty cool folks. Wildly successful women, much like yourselves. One of them, she says, I feel broken and I made $128,000 last month. Like, we can help you with that. Who else? Thoughts, comments? Where you at? What section you on? What's your aha on your own life navigation? Dubby. Dub dub. I love you, Dub Dub. You're a good boy. Okay. There's no questions.
Okay, if there's no questions, can I ask you something that's
Sure. Sure.
from a I was listening to one of your calls from last week, and you said that when you had a time when you were Mason had a nanny,
Mm-hmm.
and you said that you told them that you would say the word stop instead of no.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to understand. I spent 5 days babysitting my 3-year-old granddaughter, and and she was adamant about her nose, and I just wanted to, if you can just
Sure.
explain that.
So no is a decision,
Yeah.
right? What's the opposite of no?
Yes.
Okay. What's the opposite of stop?
Go.
They're usually in an action. They're in a physical action and we want them to stop it. They're not of decision making. I'm going to go play in the street. No, you're not. They start walking towards the street to go play. We say no, it should be stopped. And what happens is my belief is they lose the huge differentiation between no and stop. Right? Listen, this just flipped into my head, so I don't know if there's any, you know me, if it comes in, it comes out. When they talk about people getting raped and I said no, maybe they're not stopping. Right? I'm not saying but that's what popped into my head, so it came out. But this idea of no, and they did it anyways. They go no, and then we have to plead with them and beg with them, and we got to give them a gift, and we put them in timeout. There's a comedian that has a funny line on timeout. Yeah, I was afraid of timeout. You know what timeout meant in my house? Pick up your teeth. After my mom smacked me, take some time out and pick up your teeth, baby. That was timeout in my house.
So when they're doing something and in action, that's when you should say stop.
Yes.
The challenge we'd ask her to do something that she wasn't doing, and she would say no. So that's a little bit different.
Well, and the key is her no is that it's how she gets attention.
Mm-hmm.
Is she the only child?
No, but she has a 6-month-old sibling, so she's traumatized by being.
So is this something new, the nose that she has fallen in love with?
Absolutely, more so.
So
Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
It's recognition. It's how she gets attention.
Mm-hmm. Sure. But at least I have another option when it comes, when there
Yes.
is a time that she is in action. I get it. I just was like,
Yes.
oh, when I heard that, that was a huge aha. And I thought, So thank you for strengthening that notion.
You're welcome. And so the other thing is that it leads in, it dovetails with the Life Navigator program, because all of the things we're doing, we're having to address new actions.
Mhm.
So, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, what do I? It goes back to Brian Tracy: start, stop, do more, do less. What's something you need to stop? You could ask this question for all of the challenges you're about to go face. Do I need to stop something? Do I need to start something? What's the things that I could do less of? What's the things I maybe need to do more of? So for me, drinking water is to make sure I have the big cup. So I will do more of making sure I like ice. I know probably shouldn't be drinking cold water. Cold water does your body, blah, 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 blah. So let me just get the water in first, and then we can worry about cold or not cold. The key is that I, whenever I walk out of my office, my start is to carry a cup, whether it's to carry my coffee cup, which I haven't had coffee. I don't need coffee in the morning. It's just something I like to drink, but I'm not one of those people that don't talk to me till I have my coffee. I wake up at 4 o'clock. I'm ready to go. So I didn't have coffee this morning because I want to see what it does to the endocrine system and whatever, all of those big words that they say coffee has effect on. And then, so my start is to carry my cup with me, full, half full, this, that, or the other. And then as I go by the water filter, fill it up. Doesn't matter what level it's at, fill it up so that I always have a cup. Because sometimes when I'm in doing recordings, I'll say, okay, it's empty. All right, let me just get this next one in. And 2 hours later, I haven't had another sip of water, rather than chugging a gallon and stressing my kidneys out. So I start, rather than go, nah, I'm not going to do that. I ask, okay, can I start something, stop something, do more, or do less of something?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else?
Well, it's interesting that you brought that no thing up, Ruth, because I was babysitting my granddaughter in July and everything's no because she goes to daycare. But when I do the stop thing, now she'll start she tests. She's testing a lot. So she'll start jumping on the couch and I'm like, and she goes, stop. But yeah, they say no a lot at daycare, and there's a little you can do about that, right? So everything is no to her. And so now she's learning about the stop. And she knows if she jumps, I'm going to do that. So she does it just to test me, but then she stops.
Well, they say the average child, who, if you lived in a reasonably positive household, reasonably positive,
Mhm.
by the time you're 18, you heard no, some kind of negative programming about 119,000 times
Yeah.
in a reasonably positive household. I think I was on the border of reasonably positive. Not gonna say positive. We were scared into our positivity, right? When your mother looks at you before you go into the grocery store, you embarrass me, I'll kill you. Said with love and affection.
What was that number? 100 and what thousand?
119,000 times.
Thank you.
So when we decide, and that's by the time we're 18, then through marriage or work or whatever, try a side gig, right? Fear of rejection. You hear no a heck of a lot more in the next 19 years. And then all of a sudden you come across a YouTube page and you're like, whoa, I can be positive. Let me hang out with this guy. Ooh, self-talk. I'm all for self-talk. Yay! I'll do it for a day, a week, a month. Dub dub. I love my dub dub. So that's what Life Navigator is something to do once a day, every day, do a little bit. Principle Kaizen.
Can I ask where we are in the book right now?
You probably have to ask Ruth.
Okay. Because I've just been going ahead and writing, and I don't know if we had a call last week. I couldn't
We
find it.
didn't. No, we didn't.
And so I thought, okay, let's
So Ruth, where are you at? You're going to be like the teacher's what do you call it? Aide?
here's
So
Pat.
I marked down that today, because we weren't here last week, was the module 3 on ideal outcomes. So what I'm doing, I'm putting the dates so I know when I go back to listen, I know what day to look for. That's why I
There you
wrote it
go.
down. So
And
I
I'll-
had the
I'll-
19th crossed out and put August 26th,
Okay.
which is today.
And I'll find you the 12th. Is that what you were looking for this or
Yeah,
for?
yeah. Well, I assume all of them are in the one spot, right?
Yes.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah. It's just nice to re-listen
Yes.
whenever you can. Yeah. Because every time you listen, I've listened to one particular thing like 4 times, and each time I'm like, oh, I didn't hear that the last 3 times. So yeah, I need the repetition.
I love it.
So where are the recordings for this?
They're on YouTube typically, but I have to put them in I'm going to do my best to put them all in the resource bar,
Oh, okay.
right on the page.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I gotta tell you, it's fun doing the audio recordings, the podcast with Michelle. She's the one driving it. She's going, come on, we gotta get another one done. Okay. It's like we're gonna do one every day. Yes, ma'am. So I think it's gonna be fun. It's already fun. And what I'll do is I'll send you guys for some feedback and feed forward. I'll put the link up inside of on the dashboard podcast so that you guys can listen and give some feedback. Cool beans.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So you sent me a link through my text, and when I use that, it always works. But when I took that link and emailed to myself, and I then open it through email, it won't open. Is it 2 different things?
Is this was it for what was it for?
So you gave me a link, and that's what I used to get on these calls. And
Okay.
when it opened up, I just emailed it to myself because I wanted to sometimes do it on my computer because it's much bigger and I can see better. But when I try to enter it through my email, I'm not email, through my computer, it wouldn't let me go on.
It might do something because if you go to sgm.obv.io
That's what it takes me
and
to.
you go to that on your desktop, you
Yes.
should, if you're logged in, it may not, are you getting to a login page or you don't even get into a login
No,
page?
no, login page, and I put in my
Okay, so you
email.
might be logged in on another platform.
Oh, well, on my
Maybe.
computer?
Well, if you're trying to go to your computer, when you try to log in there, it might limit you to only accessing it on one device.
Oh, so I'd have to, I'm afraid to
Log
close that
out of
window
the
on my,
other one.
oh, I'm afraid to close out of that because it's there. Okay, so I should close that, and then if I log on, I see. Okay. I
Or if
didn't
you're
even think of that.
or if you really don't want to do that, you could always use a different email and set up a different account, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Got it. No, no, no. Okay, I didn't even, it didn't dawn to me that
Yeah,
It's because
because
you're saying,
I have to just release it when I set up the room. It's whether they can access it on multiple screens, is what it says, and I forget to check that because it's if I'm doing a challenge, it's yeah. I could
sure.
probably just let people do multiple screens.
That's what I have to do. So if I'm listening on my iPhone, I have to turn it to end that or leave the meeting in
Got
order
it.
to do it on my computer.
Got it. Thank you. I didn't understand that. Okay.
Yes.
That totally makes sense. Thank you very much.
Cool questions. I love the questions. Amber, you ready for your Friday Q&A? Amber, did I say Amber? Heather? I knew I
You
was doing
did.
it. I apologize. I did that to her the other day. She goes, "Oh my God, you haven't done that in a while." I'm like, son of a brisket eater.
It's okay. Yes, I am ready for Friday.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome.
Is it the same time, same link?
Yeah, yes. I is it the same link? I don't know.
No, you did an awesome job last week.
So if you go into your Zoom account and you well, that would be a webinar maybe. You can set it up for multiple dates and it'd be the same one. Or if you use your personal room, it'll be the same link. Because like when I have you guys before I had this, when I'd have you go to seansroom.com, that was to my personal account. So cool.
We're gonna believe it's the same link then.
Yes. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Let you guys go to bed early.
I have one more question, and
Yes,
this is the
please.
FOMO part of me. How many people are coming to October? Because I'm bumming that I'm not gonna be here.
It's been now moved to September and the number is very low. So we may or may not have it. I'm going to figure that out here in the next week.
Oh, September 2024?
Yeah. In October,
Oh,
where? Yeah, we got it because October they couldn't do it. Then it jumbled around.
It's
way
all
too-
Diane's fault.
Wow. It's a good thing you live on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I'm counting on that. No, I'm kidding.
so what is the date for September?
The last weekend.
Oh. So is it still like a Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like that?
Yep. The 26th, 7th, 8th, and yes, 9th.
Mm.
So there might be a little event fatigue. So we may or may not have it yet. I'll know here in the next 3 days or so. We might would you guys want to do a couple of day virtual one time? Okay. We could do that. That's probably going to be how it turns out. And yeah, we may do 3 kind of half and a half days, 1.5 days, 2 days. We'll see. It may be the DMP, the 3 days of 2.5 days of getting your DMP lined out or something.
Wow.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So plan on that. So no FOMO. Even if 2 people show up for the 26th, we're still going to do. So we're going to do a 3-day workshop on your DMP.
So so you're talking a whole day, not a few hours at a time.
From 8, say from 9 my time, for those of you a little West Coasty, 9 my time to probably 5, and then Q&A that evening. Would you guys rather it Like a Wednesday,
so.
Thursday, Friday, or a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Think about it. Don't need to answer, but if you have some thoughts and feedback, that'd be great.
But it'd be during that time, just on the end of
Yes.
September. Okay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday work great for me.
Okay. Diane has spoken,
I
Louise.
say-
Yes.
Get blamed again.
Diane
When things
has
started not
spoken.
working out date-wise, it was because somebody was going to be on a month-long cruise, which I was already jealous about.
So we'll probably do something October, mid-October, something for the who's it? The DMP. Or whenever anybody's available. What?
Wait,
What?
so end of September or mid-October?
No. So September would be the live event.
Oh, so
If
you're
we
saying,
if we don't
okay.
do that, we'll reschedule when we can do, when everybody's available, more people are available for the Scooby-Dooby-Doo, the
DMP.
DMP. Yeah. And
Got
we'll
it.
do
So,
DMP and archetypes and all of that. We'll get a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. I'm doubling down on the archetypes. I got some cool stuff coming out for that.
very cool.
Yeah, I walked Michelle through her archetypes and she kind of, you think they know this. It's like your kids. What do you mean you don't know I do that? So it was funny to walk her through that. It really shifted her energy huge, which I was excited that it did, because she was a little stressed out about some things. Somebody's going to ask a question.
I was going to share an observation that, not that I didn't believe it, I knew it. It was very obvious. Yes. Yesterday was a wonderful day of celebrating someone putting a birthday party on for themselves, which was
Aw.
awesome, because this person has just come out of a shell. It was wonderful. My daughter was going to be the live music, and she just finished a gig, blah blah blah. Anyway, she shows up. She wants to be absolutely perfect, and there's not a chord. She's missing a chord to something, which means there was to be no music. And I watched her sort of melt down a little bit. She was very late.
Mhm.
She was very late on top of that, all of that. And so at one point I said, hey, why don't you walk with me up to the car? I got to get something out of the car. And as she did, I said, you seem a little stressed. And she just broke down. She said, I try to show up for everybody. I want to be what they need me to be. And I just am a failure every time. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm listening to myself. And so instead of trying to fix her,
Freud, table for one. Freud, table for one.
I know it, but you know, the thing is, I haven't actually seen it. I understand that, but I haven't seen it in my adult child, my very adult child. And so she just broke down, and I let her cry, and she said, I just don't know what to do. And I said, congratulate yourself, you've become aware. She's used to me saying, well, this is what you do. You should do this. This is the language. And she looked at me and she used my dress and shirt and sweater to take care of her tears and her snot and everything. And I said, this is like when you were a little kid. I said, did you want the rest of my dress here? You blow your nose. Anyway, it was a wonderful observation for me to see it, you know. I felt so good to just congratulate her for being aware. And I know that she anyway, it was really good. And all of that made me come back to my core beliefs. And I went, you cannot go on until you get this down. And so I haven't been able to move on to where you know, the emotion, the necessarily, it's part of the beginning part of emotional harmony, but it's that core belief, really the core belief. So I'm so grateful that all of these things are becoming you know, coming to me and showing me. All that to be said, I'm having fun.
When did
telling
we have our live
stories.
event? Was it in May?
Mm-hmm.
So May, June, July, August. So you've been able to do in 90 days what you haven't been able to do in 60 years.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Right?
With a big plus sign. Yes.
So when you became aware, right? So maybe you were 10 years old, right? But the key is that that's in 60 years you're rewiring it. You're allowing awareness to come in. And you're giving yourself some self-care. That's huge.
Yeah, if it really does feel so good. And there's so much confidence that comes with it. It's kind of nuts.
Absolutely. Love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, my little navigators. I appreciate you. Go ahead.
Sean, did
Yes.
you get that little thing I sent you on yesterday? In Messenger? I thought you'd get a kick out of the
Oh, yes. Oh, the sheep jumping and the dancing. Yes. The goats. Yes.
I thought of you as soon as I saw that.
Yes, I did. And I laughed. I loved it. Yes, I did. Very cool.
So I'm still a little green today. I've been sick for a few days, but so this Monday night thing,
Yep.
I take it because I don't have whatever it is that
The Navigator book.
we're doing because probably because I wasn't at the ranch.
Right. But
Downloadable.
What's that?
It's downloadable.
Oh,
but he's
But
got
where-
to have access.
I have to have access to it.
Yes, and I'll get you access to it. It's normally $49.95, but for you, we'll make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Then I got some catching up to do.
Very cool. Okay. Y'all get some rest, get some energy, take some time for yourself. The conversation with Michelle in the self-care, the podcast we just did, was kind of cool to hear her explain challenges that I could never understand, but she did a very good job of explaining it so that I could comprehend. So it was kind of cool. So yeah, I'll get those up as well. All right, everybody, go have a great Life Navigator evening. I'm your head captain of the sailing ship. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
Next event.
The next
Yes.
event.
All right, everybody, get some rest. Love y'all.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank